Wade Blank, the father of the ADAPT community, said, "Anger is the root of all advocacy efforts." ADAPT is the nation's largest cross-disability, grassroots disability rights organization. We've been around for more than 25 years now, and many people, with and without disabilities, still don't know why we are angry. Most people who know anything about ADAPT will put together an image of action, direct action, and civil rights. Most people know about arrests. People using wheelchairs, people with disabilities getting arrested. But there is a lot more to ADAPT. Those arrests that people are familiar with don't happen because we are angry. They are part of a long process of negotiation, sometimes years of letters, conference calls, meetings, and lawsuits. ADAPT is committed to nonviolence. But don't get me wrong, we are angry. For years, ADAPT and other disability rights groups have struggled for equality in the traditional areas of civil rights: transportation, housing, and public and private accommodations. The disability rights movement uses all of the nonviolent tools of our predecessors. While many groups will join the effort for legislation, education, outreach, and even lawsuits, it is ADAPT that hits the streets. It is the passion of ADAPT activists that create the essential image of people irate about inequality and angry with the status quo. ADAPT does not ask for change. We demand it. And ADAPT never gives up. After the American with Disabilities Act was passed in 1990, ADAPT began to focus on the Medicaid bias that paid to put people in institutions and nursing homes, but didn't support people with disabilities living in their own homes. Back then, 90% of Medicaid funding went to expensive and undesirable facilities. Many Americans were locked away in nursing homes, away from family and friends, for the rest of their lives. There was just no other option. ADAPT did not start a campaign to complain about the Medicaid bias. We developed a plan to solve it and presented legislators and citizens a positive proposal to end the injustice. Along the way, progressive states began to adopt the principles of ADAPT's plan and expanded state waivers that allowed people to live in the community and decreased the state's dependency on costly institutions. Of course, along that same path, some states resisted change. State governments fought to lock Americans with disabilities away and pushed their view all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1999. The court in Olmsted, however, upheld the integration mandate of the ADA and ruled that it discriminates to hold a person in a segregated setting. ADAPT demanded legislation called Money Follows the Person to redirect funds paid to put someone away in an institution to help that person live in the community. Again, many U.S. states saw the benefit of our idea, and more people with disabilities could get out of facilities and make a home in the community. Now the percentage is closer to even. About 60% of federal funds go to facilities, and 40% help people stay at home. But that is not good enough. The Community Choice Act was reintroduced in March of 2009, and ADAPT has worked tirelessly since it was first introduced in 1997 to end the Medicaid bias, to see that all Americans have a real choice in long-term care. ADAPT demands that healthcare reform does not bypass Americans still locked away in institutions. The Community First Choice option is currently part of the healthcare reform bill in front of Congress. It would provide options to receive community-based services and support the Olmsted decision by giving people the choice to leave facilities and institutions for their own homes and communities with appropriate, cost-effective services and supports. For nearly 20 years, ADAPT has worked for this choice. We are angry. We are angry that Americans, our brothers and sisters, still die in institutions. A friend asked me the other day, "It's 2010. Is there really still a struggle for disability rights?" I asked him, "Do you want to live in a nursing home?"